same facilities and services as white people. Black children had to go to different schools, and their parents often had to build those schools themselves. Black children were not allowed to ride a school bus with white children in town that did not have a bus for them. Black children would have to walk to and from school. Jim Crow affected everyone, young and old. There were even white men who dressed in long robes and hoods to hide their faces. They were the Ku Klux Klan, and they wrote about terrorizing black people and sometimes even killing them. Rosa lived in dread of the Klan arriving at her grandfather's farm. This never happened, but it was a scary way for a little girl to grow up. Yes.
My mom once told me that the Ku Klux Klan organization is they didn't think that black people should be with white people. They burnt a cross on my parents' lawn because my grandmother and my grand aunt were trying to go to a white school.
Really? Where did this happen in?
I don't remember what.
Up in Virginia?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's what my mom told me.
Was that like, do you know if it was like maybe 15, 20 years ago? Did she say like how many years ago?
No.
Oh, but it was a long time ago.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, okay. Wow. Right. All right. So let me start where the new paragraph. When she was 19, Rosa married Raymond Parks. They lived in Montgomery, Alabama, where Rosa enjoyed setting up a home and finding a job. However, she never accepted the unjust laws against black people, and she joined lots of organizations that work to make things better. Then on December 1st, 1955, she took a huge step toward getting one of these laws overturned. Rosa refused to stand up on a bus so that a white passenger can sit down. This is a law forbidding black people to sit next to white people on buses, which was overturned because one woman was brave. This part of the bus for the colored race. I was just reading the illustration. I'll make sure I show you after I get through reading. This is just one of the segregation laws that kept black people and white people separate. Black people had to drink at separate water fountains. They have to sit on separate park benches. Here's a picture of both so you can see how things were way back then. Did everyone get a chance to see? Okay, great. Okay. All right. And I'll show you when I get through reading. This is a bus in Montgomery, Alabama, where they enforced a law forbidding blacks to sit next to whites on buses, which was overturned because one woman was brave. Black people pay fares at the front, then they have to get off and go to the back to get on again. Sometimes drivers let them pay and then drive off without them. Why make it so different for black people? Shouldn't they be treated the same as white passengers? Can everyone see? Did everyone get a chance to see?
Yeah.
Just want to make sure you got a chance to see. Okay. All right. There are the black passengers riding the bus in Montgomery, where they enforced a law forbidding blacks to sit next to whites on buses, which was overturned because one woman was brave. There you go. And then it says on here, I'll show you when I get to reading. The first 10 rows are for whites. Black people had to sit in the back rows. The black section is filling up. What happens if the white section fills up? Then black people have to give up their seats. There you go. There's the picture. Okay. Next page. This is the white man left standing near the seats of the black passengers riding the bus in Montgomery, where they enforced a law forbidding blacks to sit next to whites on buses, which was overturned because one woman was
Raised.
This looks like a problem. All the seats have been taken. The driver will make those for black people move for the white passenger. Okay. Next page. This is the driver who told them to move for the white man left standing near the seats of black passengers riding the bus in Montgomery, where they enforced a law forbidding blacks to sit next to whites on buses, which was overturned because one woman was raised. That driver's a bully, but he's got the law on his side. Then the law needs to be changed. There you go. There's a picture.
Yes, sir.
That's terrible.
I read this book.
Did you like it?
I have an I Am Rosa Parks. It's mostly like the same thing.
And what's the title of that book that you read?
Rosa Parks.
Well, there was another lady who did the same thing in Louisiana. And yes, and she didn't get as much publicity as Rosa Parks did. But the premise of this whole thing is, if the law is not working in your favor, you all in here have the power to change the law by voting. The politicians work for you all. You all are their bosses. And if you don't like the way the law is going, you vote to change that law. You ain't got to get out here and be foolish and be violent and get up here and scream and holler and throw things and join gangs and talk about turning things over by being violent and tearing this up and tearing up. Because when you tear down things and you steal stuff, you're not only stealing from somebody else, but you're stealing a lot more from yourself. And when you tear stuff up, you tear up a lot more stuff for yourself. It's always important to take the high road and get the educated way and do things the right way. Because if you do them the right way, it'll work. Yes, sir.
Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks both tried to change the law, black and white.
They did it for everybody. Blacks, whites, Chinese, Orientals, Hispanics, Germans, Switzerland, French. They did it for everybody. Europeans, they were people that they didn't see color. They see the person. Yes, ma'am.
There are even more people that tried to stop segregation.
Wait, speak up a little bit.
There's even more people that tried to stop segregation.
Yes, they are. Because you see, what racism is, it's a fear of change and it's a lot of ignorance. Because if you don't know somebody, you can't speak ill of them. You got to really know them to speak ill of them. Yes, sir.
Why did the white people make that rule?
A lot of them made that rule, and it's not all of them. Just a few bad apples made that rule about the bus segregation because they were afraid. They were afraid. It's like a bully in school. A bully in school picks on other people because he thinks that they're either smarter than him or they can do a lot better things than he can. And really deep down, somebody who picks on anybody else, deep down, they're just afraid and they use force and intimidation to cover it up. Yes, sir.
That's why Martin Luther King made his famous speech.
I Have a Dream.
Yeah.
He did that in 1963.
Yeah.
He did it at the March on Washington. My cousin Mahalia Jackson sang for him. If you go on YouTube, there's a whole video collection that WUSA 9 did on Dr. Brown and myself back in 2013 for the 50th year march of the March on Washington of August, on a collection that we donated to them and the footage we gave them from Mahalia Jackson singing at the March on Washington. Let me get to her right quick. I'm gonna get to you. Yes, ma'am.
On this show that we all watched in art class,
Mm-hmm.
in January,
Mm-hmm.
we saw it was the 60s. The girl's name was Melody.
Mm-hmm.
We saw that a black church was bombed. And
Yes, it was.
were killed.
There were 4 girls in Alabama, September the 15th. That happened in 1965 when those girls were bombed. In fact, that year in Alabama, they had a bombing of another church, but in 65, You also lost on February the 21st, Malcolm X was assassinated. They got rid of him. Before him in 1963, they got Medgar Evers, they shot him in the back. Before that, in 1955, they got Emmett Till. They went in his house and took him out. And recently, the lady who claimed that Emmett Till did what he did recently admitted she lied. Took her all those years to come and tell the truth. You never lie on people. It's because you don't like them because they're different. Get to know them first. They may have a talent that you can use. You may have a talent that they can use. You see, I read a book when I was in school by John Donne called No Man is an Island. Yeah, and it means we all need each other to make it. You cannot make it on your own. You're going to have somebody to help you. Even if it's no more than giving you a good advice, or if it's no more than somebody trying their best to show you an obstacle in life, you could turn that obstacle into steps for success. A setback is not always a defeat. A setback is a chance for you to be marvelous and come back and show what you really know. Yes, ma'am.
How did the lady lie?
She said that he did something like a pass. I wasn't there because that was way before my time.
That was like what year?
That was in 55. That was like 14 years before my time. She claimed that she made the whole thing up on him, and that they went in the house and gave this boy some street justice. They took him out and they killed him. For nothing. For nothing. And
She said
that he
did something bad, so that's why they took him out.
No, they claimed it was a sexual pass that he made out of a whistle. He talked about, hey, baby. And back then that was taboo. And that kid didn't really do that. She admitted that she lied. And the whole thing was all messed up. Yes, sir.
Is she dead?
Huh?
Is she dead
No,
now?
she's still alive.
What? Rosa Parks is still alive.
Rosa Parks is dead. No, we're talking about somebody else.
This is a different person. Yeah.
Wait, let me get to her. Yes, young lady?
And then she's
And in the church, and Martin's house got bombed because he almost forgot of his family.
Who, Martin Luther King?
Martin, his house got bombed.
His house got bombed, but I'm going to tell you something else you all may not know. On June the 30th, 1974, in Atlanta, Georgia, Dr. Martin Luther King's mother was assassinated in the church right before the 11 a.m. service.
What?
Oh, yeah.
The young man came in there, he kicked the door open. He was African American. And he shot that woman and 5 deacons in the face. Her teeth and blood were all on the wall. It was disgusting. It was disgraceful what happened. And they did arrest him. He died back in 1995. He was given life in prison without the possibility of no parole. They put him away for a long time. And Dr. King Sr. asked, why did he kill his wife? He said all Christians were his enemy. He had a long list of people he wanted to kill, from Aretha Franklin, y'all ever heard of her?
Yeah.
James Cleveland, a gospel singer. Elijah Muhammad, he's gone anyway. He also had on there George Wallace, who had just became a Christian, the former governor who was racist in Alabama. And he had Jesse Jackson on there too as well. And a couple other people he put on there. He was basically, he was in prison himself, spiritually. His mind was messed up. Anybody you got that want to just kill, they have a problem. Because that's not what you put here for. You're not put here to take nobody's life. You put here to help build on your own life and reach back to somebody so you can set a good foundation for the next generation. Yes, ma'am.
Wait, so about the lady who lied, so she said to the police or something that...
She told the sheriff in Money, Mississippi what the boy did. And they went up, it was in a convenience store, and they went up to his house, his aunt's house, out there in Mississippi, and they got him out the house at 12 o'clock at night. They beat him real bad and they drowned him.
They killed him because the lady said that he did something bad.
Yeah.
Oh, but then she finally admitted it.
After all those years, she finally told the truth.
That he didn't do anything bad.
That he didn't do anything bad. She lied. Yes.
Did she say why she finally told the truth?
She didn't really get into it, but a lot of people suspected a long time she was lying. See, with that kind of, when that happens, they should put the law down into the effect that when you first get this story, and you can suspect, you can tell when somebody's lying. You can tell. I've studied people enough over the years of my life. You can tell by the eye shrinkage of their pupil when they're telling or not telling the truth. You can tell by the gestures of their body. But if somebody sticks to the same story and tell it to you very calmly, you better take that as the truth because they're telling you the truth. Yes, sir.
Was the girl arrested? Because
No, they haven't arrested her yet. She's so old right now. What's the point?
No, she got a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm asking for
Huh? Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, sir.
Also, Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated.
Yes, he was, by James Earl Ray in 1968, April 4th. And his brother, do you all know he had a brother?
Yeah.
Alfred Daniel King, A.D. King. In fact, I'm good friends with his daughter, Alveda. He allegedly, get this, drowned himself after he shot himself twice in the neck. You believe that? He pulled the trigger twice and shot himself twice? Y'all believe that?
No.
Y'all smarter than that.
Yeah, I believe that.
No, he couldn't have done that. The first time he shot himself, he'd have died. How can he pull the trigger twice on himself?
No.
He was murdered.
What?
In fact, he had got a phone call on July the 3rd, 1969, stated that we got your brother, we got Malcolm X, you don't shut up, we're going to get you. And they got Mega Evans. They mentioned that one too. And they told him, if you don't be quiet, we're going to get you. He was very defiant. He told them, bring it on. And they did just that. They went in his house, they shot him in his neck twice and put him in the pool, and they say he drowned. Yes, ma'am.
About the lady who lied, what did she say that he did?
He blew a kiss at her and he actually said, hey, baby. And back in those days, that was taboo. If you did taboo, that means it was against the rules. It's like on the playground, when they tell you you see something, you don't snitch. Don't believe that. If you see something going wrong, or you see another student hurting another student, you go tell the teacher.
Is it?
Because the next time, that could be you, that student who's doing the hurting, come after and hurt.
Was it because it was during segregation and black people weren't allowed to be with white people?
That's basically what it is. Even today, it's like that. You see a couple that looks that's black and white or any kind of, if they're not the same, even if they are the same, one could be fair-skinned, one could be dark, they're going to find something wrong with it. Some people just cannot grow out of SIDS. And you know what SIDS stand for? Stuck on stupid, integrated ignorance, and dangling on dumbness. When you get in that part of your life and you stuck on that little word SID, it's time for you to move on and become an adult. Yes.
Is like segregation still in a couple states?
It's all over. It's just hidden in some cases. That's why you all as youngsters got to fight it. You got to fight it. You see, there's nothing wrong with you being friends with somebody else that's different from you. You know, that's how you learn diversity and learn how to grow. Because if you do the same, let me give you an example. Who in here like baseball? Raise your hand if you like baseball. Okay, now what if everybody here was a left-handed pitcher? Nobody was a batter, everybody was pitchers. How good you think the team would be? You wouldn't win one pennant. You wouldn't even get a point on the, you may get 1 point. But if you're all left-handed pitchers, and I need a batter or a right-handed pitcher, you're wasting your time. We got to have diversity, a group of people that can do different things. That can do, everybody has their own talent. Yes, sir.
Can I read a story now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay.
We're back to where we were.
Yes. This is Rosa Parks who said no to the driver who told her to move for the white man left standing near the seats of black passengers riding the bus in Montgomery, where they enforced a law forbidding blacks to sit next to whites on buses, which was overturned because one woman was brave. 3 of the black people are moving. They don't want any trouble. Look, that woman is refusing to get up. That's so brave. The driver said he'll call the police. Did you hear her? She said you may do that. There's a picture.
Mm-hmm.
This is the verdict of guilty at the trial of Rosa Parks, who said no to the driver who told her to move for the white man left standing near the seats of black passengers riding the bus in Montgomery, where they enforced a law forbidding blacks to sit next to whites on buses, which was overturned because One woman was
brave.
The judge fined her $10 with $4 court costs, and she earns only $23 a week. It's so strange. Her lawyers, Fred Gray and Charles Langford, didn't try to defend her. That's because they wanted her to be found guilty so that they could appeal to the Supreme Court. Right here in where? Washington, D.C. That's right. Of course, only the Supreme Court can overturn segregation laws. And here's the photo.
Little people, these little people. Rosa Parks was taken to jail. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you say something with the glasses? I'm sorry. You said something?
No, some little people.
Oh, yeah. Wait, I'm sorry. Make sure you get a chance to see.
Wait, which one?
Did you see?
Do you know the people's names from here?
No, I don't know their names, but they did mention her attorneys, Fred Gray and Charles Langford. Those two gentlemen. I don't know which one is which, but that's their attorneys.
I think that one is.
That's the judge.
Oh yeah, that's the judge. We were sitting.
Fred Gray is a short one.
Oh, okay.
Langford was a tall one. Fred Gray recently died.
Oh, wait, excuse me. When?
Back in December, I believe.
Really, how old was he?
Don't know that, but I know he just recently died.
I'll look it up because they probably lived a long time.
Yes, sir. He has a question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I forgot.
No, it's okay.
Oh wait, I know. Do the little people?
That's okay. Just come back to me. Raise your hand if you're ready, okay?
Okay.
Okay. This is the boycott triggered by the verdict at the trial of Rosa Parks, who said no to the driver who told her to move for the white man left standing near the seats of black passengers riding the bus in Montgomery, where they enforced a law forbidding blacks to sit next to whites on buses, which was overturned because one woman was brave. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is leading the bus boycott. He says, "We are tired of being segregated and humiliated. Black people are walking everywhere. They are determined to change the way they live."
Little people. There's little people right here. Little people. I see Martin.
Yes, you do.
Where? I don't
Everyone
see
should,
him.
yeah.
Oh, is he right there? Is he right there? Where's Martin?
Oh, that's easy. You should be able to. He's right there.
Okay, I saw him.
Yeah.
I know where
I
it
thought
is.
he was
In there?
I know.
No!
That one.
Okay. All right. Let me go to the next one. Oh, you guys remember your question? Go ahead.
Well, so the little. So
You okay?
So the little people say the stuff, say the stuff about the story. They say stuff about the story.
What about the story?
Well, they say the stuff about what's happening, about more stuff that happens.
Oh yeah, with the Supreme Court, with them going. Yeah, wait, yeah, I'm gonna read it right now. Yeah, because they're there now. Let me read it. This is a Supreme Court ruling that declared Alabama's race laws to be illegal following the boycott triggered by the verdict at the trial of Rosa Parks, who said what? What did she say?
No.
To the driver who told her to move for the white man left standing near the seats of black passengers riding the bus in Montgomery, where they enforced a law forbidding blacks to sit next to whites on buses, which was overturned because one woman was
brave.
For a whole year, black people held out and didn't use the buses. The bus company lost so much money that they had to stop running.
Who stopped running?
The
bus.
bus.
Other little people.
They had to stop running.
Yay!
Okay, did everyone see that? I want to make sure everyone see the photo.
Name tag cut off again.
I know. It's just, that's okay. Thank you. Let me try to stick it on one more time. It was holding up for a really good. Oh, sorry. Did you get a chance to see the picture? Okay. That's where they went to the Supreme Court. Which is right here in Washington, D.C. Yay. All right. All right. This is the civil rights movement, which grew in strength after the Supreme Court ruling that declared Alabama's race laws to be illegal following the boycott triggered by the verdict at the trial of Rosa Parks, who said
no
to the driver who told her to move for the white man left standing near the seats of black passengers riding the bus in Montgomery, where they enforced a law forbidding blacks to sit next to whites on buses, which was overturned because one woman was okay. This is black and white people are marching everywhere in the country demanding equality for all races. Just like my husband just said, Dr. Brown said that Dr. Martin Luther King, and when we want to change laws, the laws were supposed to be made for all races for equality, right?
Yeah.
All right. And here is the protest signs they had. Desegregate now. Jim Crow must go. Remember the law I was reading about. And it says we march for effective civil rights laws now. And that's Dr. King talking.
When is this going to talk about his
I don't think talk about the speech in the Rosa Parks book.
No, no, talk about the
Yeah,
speech
that's
there.
going to be a separate, yeah. And it says, let me just read what the sign says. Black and white together. I am integrated and I